For me, I take my inspiration from the one and only Osajifo. When he started this war to get rid of these white people, he was alone. These people that we have them on our currency, they were only interested in just little Ghana. Kwame Nkrumah's vision was worldwide,
Africa, the whole Africa,
black person, even in the United States and the islands.
You are watching the biggest, the largest, the highest, the greatest, the tallest, and the mightiest world platform. I'm always Queen. Hadasha, call me Empress. Makida, I ubet me Africa Casanoma. Bibia ye before I say Bia family, Mijina Mumi Tibet Crent. I, as I see it, me dear. Hey, Nebusia, where the uncle so Israel for. Omunyanko pon ye boru aye sumbi. Uncle for wo use meza so one friend woni nyami. Hey, where the The biggest, the largest, the greatest. It's another episode. Today we are going to have a huge conversation. Why religion is a hindrance to Ghana and Africans' progress. We have one of our fathers who is going to educate us on this topic. And you, why do you say? What would you say religion a hinder? I didn't think religion between a hindrance. Me feel that religion there. E kan me nipa tete nipa me nipa bre ne ho ase ebu ade enti ade enti na se ye de ba fom so a religion ye me nipa ye nwan so omo bebre enti nkan ye hye na ebe hye ye ma na ade na ye hindrance. Well, let's see how the show will run. We love and hate. It's another episode. Let's welcome our guests and see what will happen today. Daddy will welcome you to Revelations.
Thank you.
Great. Today is your first time on this biggest platform. Please kindly pay obeisance to the followers, greet them, introduce yourself to us, and tell us why you are here.
Hello. My name is Kwadwo Obeng, Ghanaian, born and raised here by parents who are also Ghanaians. I am here, greetings in the first place to all of you who have taken the time this afternoon to watch this program. I believe you will be educated and edified after we are done. So please continue watching. If you disagree with us, please make some notes, take some notes, do your own research, and come to some conclusions. We will help you along the way. Today we are going to discuss the topic, why religion? And when I say religion, I mean primarily Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. These are the so-called main religions that have taken control of the world. We are all captives of these religions. My purpose here is to deconstruct how these religions came about and why we have all been prisoners, especially Africans. We have suffered, but their history have buried our suffering, the millions of people who have died. But we have to deconstruct religion, their modus operandi, and see how Africans can escape from the clutch of these religions. We need to be free if we are going to go forward in life. All African people, all over the world. So stay tuned as we discuss this important subject today.
Yo, we welcome you. We appreciate you.
Thank
seriously. Ebusia, so this is our guest he's our guest for today. It's going to be great. I will ask him a few questions, then we can delve into the topic and then see. Papa, you said it is a hindrance for the whole world or only Africans. I want to get that part straight.
First of all, it's a hindrance to the whole world because we have all been indoctrinated by these religions, but what the text in the books, their so-called holy books, the Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, and the Islamic book Quran. We have absorbed these books, and they have turned us into violent, vicious people who attack each other based on what is written in these books. If you disagree, people want to force you to accept what it said, even though it goes against common sense, goes against science. It goes against our nature. And so everybody in this world, the white people, yes, they've also been affected by what is written in these books. I will go into details later to see how it is. But just look at what is going on in the United States right now. The new president has unleashed some violent racism, anti-black racism, against all people they call people of color. But it's mainly against black people. But this is not new. It has been in the United States since these people came, captured our brothers and sisters, took them over there, subjected them to hardships, forced work on the plantations and in factories and all of that. Some were killed, butchered. Women were raped. As a matter of fact, when you talk about medicine, black people were used as guinea pigs for their dangerous drugs to see how it will affect white people. So the mentality of hate against black people is still with white people today in the United States, even in all over Europe. So it affects them. But for black people, we look at these people as if they are gods. We have accepted them as gods. Even in Akan, they have a saying that if you are going to church, meaning if you're on your way to the church and you meet a white man, don't bother going to the church because you've already met a God. This is how we view them. And so whatever they tell us, we follow, we obey. We have become slaves, mental slaves. And we are using the teachings and doctrines against ourselves. So this is the hindrance that Africans are suffering.
So this is why I was asking whether this religion thing is a hindrance for only Africans and blacks or the whole world. The whole world. Because I'm asking this because Rome, they are rich and powerful, though they are small, because of religion, Christianity. When you go to all these Arab countries, they are rich, they are doing well. Looking at Dubai, they are doing so well. They are Muslims. It has not hindered them in any way. If you say Africans, I will maybe understand a bit because of our understanding when it comes to these things. Entina mi bisa uno say, Osha, okay, let's say that Osha young Africans are damages enuma akwose ye pa. Yan for mama se munsin chain. Damages enuma religion akwose ye pa se ye bibifui. Eno ye one. Ena eden important ena obibini ebehu broni no wahu ne wadwen se wahu nyame because ye ya ade na obroni wo mu a kire se ye papa se wo ya ade na obroni baabi a abrofo kra baabi ye papa patriote ase eden na ema onipa bibini ehu broni se oye nyame na ede be niam num ena affect ye more than omo when it comes to religion.
Niama unhu asheyimu eni if Bible mu. So obeka ya one chese nsu yiri bi bai na obi de Noah one ne mamiensa ekọ hyen bi mu. Na hyen ne wie nsu no eto wie ye no. Obaako ye friend Ham ne ba Canaan ko hu se Noah edampaso no tono na o moleste no na so ye ni brebi na Noah edome no. Saa no me na odidome Canaan no. Wanyamsum no mu no won de aba Ham so. Na won kire se before nyina fi Ham ne Canaan ase. Ye nyina e Canaan ase for. Indi saa no me no aba ye nyina so. Inti said ni petuntum de onyame no adome yen. En won di she yentrim besine. Inti yehu obroni a obroni yese say shame asefo ene obaako no asefo no.
Omo de nyame
ahira won. Inti no me no kire se esese nka yen tuntum no ye hye shame asifo won ye Israel for no ye shame ase aye be kwa kosansuo di abran won ye twetweja ai se be yenkoa forever ama won enunti na sa enome no yenso yagye atum nanso menuaba enye no correct. The curse of Ham has affected us so deeply that we view these people as blessed people, and we are supposed to be slaves of Jews and Shem, Ham, Japheth, descendants of Japheth, who happen to be
the blessed ones.
The blessed ones. And we are forever cursed. We have accepted this. And religion enforces it. Christianity enforces it. Islam also enforces it. And Judaism also continue to teach it. The time has come for us to look at this. And first of all, decide or make sure whether this story in the Bible is true at all. Not just that story. The whole Bible is true at all. We maintain that the Bible is a false book. Not just this story, that the beginning story of the Bible to the end is all fake, fallacy, and fiction.
Okay, we will come to that. Mm-hmm. When you say we say that you and who?
African people. When I say we, I mean those of us who are conscious of what is going on right now.
Okay.
The education we have received.
Okay.
The research.
Okay. We will get, your topic is big, I don't want to, but I want to get the structures well before we build on this. Like I said, you have explained why you feel it is helping them, it is damaging us. But 5 damages you've seen from these 5 books. Take some from Judaism because you mentioned them, and take some from Islam, and also some from the Christendom, and give us 5 serious damages you see.
Number 1, we see ourselves as inferior people. Number 2, they have destroyed our culture, our spirituality. We had spirituality before they brought their Bibles and the Qurans to Africa. We are the people who have lived on this planet the longest. They have turned it around, as if we are the newest ones on the block. Number 2, the economic side of it. Briefly, the churches and the Muslims and all that, I will go deeper into that. They extract a lot of money from us by collections and tithe and what have you. Every year, they take out of Africa about $300 billion, not million, $1 billion out of Africa. The Christians send it to America, Europe, and all these other European countries, and Rome. Let's not forget for the Catholic Church. And the Arabs also send their money to Saudi Arabia. And we turn around and we go and borrow just a few $5 million or so for Ghana. We are indebted. That's economic. What they've done also, you mentioned 5 things. Mm-hmm. I've given you 2 so far. The economic, and then the mental slavery. Okay. What other things? The inferiority complex is all part of that. Well, how about our time? We spend a lot of time going to church. Our children are brainwashed to only believe what is in the Bible. So it is hindering them from accepting what comes from science. For example, when you talk about the universe, now we know the size of the universe. Galaxies. At least there are about 500 billion galaxies in this universe that we know, and that's just one universe. They say there are multiple universes with galaxies. And the many stars, our Milky Way galaxy alone has about 400 billion stars. When you look at these Europeans, the white people, they are working on trying to explore the other planets and beyond to see what we can get from there to bring to the earth. In the meantime, we are always going to church to pray to Jesus to bring us blessings. We are behind, and we will never catch up. When you look at the Chinese young boys and girls are now learning AI, how to program AI. Ours are in church singing and dancing and praying. We'll never catch up to them. And everything we buy at the stores is made from China with our resources taken from here.
Okay, so Papa, please, at this point, I think you are saying they brought something that is hindering us. They omo de bray and na yen usi e hinda omo so what the same thing and omo use all this niyama ya okeken e di progress. Why do we blame them but not ourselves? Why do we blame them but not ourselves? That is one. I believe you've traveled. I have also traveled around looking at their behavior and our behavior. Why do we have to blame them for what is happening to us at this era?
They brought it. It was a psychological tool to keep us this way.
And it didn't work on them, but it worked on us.
Honestly,
who allowed that to happen?
Honestly, it worked on them for a while. Actually, it is still working on them. As I mentioned, right now, if you go to the United States, the people who are promoting hate and violence against black people, they are all people of the church. They believe what's in the Bible.
I get it, but why are we
allowing
the blacks allowing this to happen at this era?
We don't know better.
That's what I want to understand.
We don't know any better.
So can we blame them for this?
Well,
because Papa, we can say that when they brought this from the early stages, no, it was disaster. Whether you like it or not, you have to swallow. By now, as we speak, knowledge, your iPhone can take you to every knowledge you can think of.
Yes.
Very soon, everybody will be his or her own doctor, his or her own astronaut, and blah, blah, blah. We are doing well. And Africans decided to still sit and pray to Israel God whilst they are throwing missiles to defend themselves. Why do we blame the whites all the time?
You also have to recognize that, yes, we blame them because they brought it and they designed systems to keep us this way. But yes, we're also to be blamed. Religion is a business. It's a big business. And the people who are controlling it do not want it to die. Look around. Wherever you look, somebody's building a church. The church is the easiest business to get into, and it's the most lucrative business too. They are not taxed. And so our people are also responsible for keeping the masses this way. When they build universities, you attend the university built by the churches, that's what they're going to teach you is the Bible. You don't come up knowing science or engineering, any of that, so you can use it to develop, or business. It's mostly religion, because religion makes money. It is free, tax-free, and our people are keeping us this way right now, at this particular time in time, in this 21st century. They are responsible. That is why we have this knowledge that we need everybody individually must take responsibility for their actions, whether or not you're going to continue supporting them or you're going to walk away from them. If you walk away from them, they will shut down because basically the money dries up.
Okay, let me ask my last question, then we'll get into your topic. When you were talking, you said we as Africans had our spirituality before they brought theirs. What is our spirituality? If you can tell us a bit, don't get deeper, just a bit, vital part of it.
Our spirituality starts with the deity we consider as God. We call it Onyankopon Kwame or Twediampon Kwame in Akan. In Ghana is Atanyumo. I forgot what the others call it. But every cultural group in Africa recognizes there's a supreme being, and we give it a name. That has been our spirituality. And of course, we recognize Asasiya for the Akans, Mother Earth. It goes throughout Africa. they recognize the earth as also a form of a deity or a goddess. That is what we knew until they brought this trinity of Christendom and Allah of Islam. And they said, no, what we have had from our ancestors from millions of years ago, that's not good. Theirs are the better gods, or the more powerful, the real gods, so to speak. We reject that because we're here first, and we'll go into it a little bit later.
Okay. You are watching the biggest and the largest. I think the topic is huge, so I'm going to leave the platform for him so we can get more from him before I start asking all my questions. Papa, so why religion is a hindrance to Ghana and Africa's progress? That's the topic. Inti Papa, take us through.
Religion as a hindrance, we have been deceived. As Malcolm X said, we have been bamboozled. We've been lied to for too long, and this is holding us back. And this started with a group of people called Israelites when they claimed they were slaves in Egypt. And by the way, this never happened. They were never slaves in Egypt. And when they were released, or they freed themselves, they created a god for themselves. And they created a religion with that. With that, they have they subdued people, conquered them, took their lands, and all of that. And then they wrote the most powerful tool of enslavement, of mental slavery, the Bible. And I'm here to tell you today that the Bible is a book of lies, from Genesis to Revelation. Anything you find that is perhaps historical existed before they wrote the book, and they put that information in there to validate it. But the story, let's start from the story of creation. It says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So the obvious question is, if there was no earth and there was no heaven, then where was this God? Because today, if you ask anybody where God is, they will say heaven. But there was a time, according to the Bible, where there was no heaven. Let's go forward. When it says he created the heavens or heaven and earth, what was in heaven? It did not say anything, any physical object that was in heaven. If you go to the Bible, the objects in the heavens were created on day 4. So on day 1, the only physical body in this whole universe was earth. And then he progressed and did something on day 1, day 2, day 3. It was day 4 before he created all the stars and the armies of the heavens, galaxies and what have you, according to what we know now. So, today we know that the universe is huge. But the Bible says he created all these bodies on day 4. Day 4 started from morning and evening. If you look at our morning and evening, it's 6 to 6. But the beginning of day 4, there was no sun. So how do you start day 4 when there is no sun? We know we get the day and time changes by the
movement of the sun and the moon. That is what tells a day.
Yes.
The sun will move for the sun to come operate 24 hours, 12 hours, then you get a day.
Yes.
These things you have not created it. So how did you get one day, second day? The Christian apologists should come and answer this.
They should answer. That's just number 1. Number 2, let's just go progressively. Day 2, he parted the waters and then the fishes. You see, today we have contention between religion and science. The most powerful tool that has been created for Africans is science. And science is basically a study of the things around us. That's the Greek word, meaning knowledge. We study to find how things work around us. Religion says, no, we tell you how things work, and this is how you should accept it. You see, the image in the middle is the very first telescope that was designed physically, manually, by a man called Galileo. Before that, all we knew about our universe was one sun, one moon, a few stars that we see at night, about 2 million with our naked eyes, and of course, the earth. That was all the Bible's universe. But this man Galileo designed this telescope to look in the sky and see what can I find. He found Saturn, the planet Saturn. It wasn't a star. It was dark, and it had moons around it. And then as he observed, it kept moving. So wait a minute. Are we moving around the earth, or are we moving around something else? And then he deducted that no, the earth is not the center of the universe as the Bible claims. It's rather, it's the sun, or they call it heliocentric world. We move around the sun. He brought it out, and the Catholic authority said, no, we can't have that. The Bible says the earth is the center of the world, and that's the way it's going to be. They forced him to recant that what he had seen with his telescope, using observation, his own observation, through lenses on the end of the telescope, is wrong. Because he did not want to die, he recanted and said, okay, if you say so, I'll just leave it like that. And he was put on house arrest until he died. After his death, his students kept doing more research and developing more powerful telescopes. And since then, the Roman Catholic Church held that view that the earth was the center of the universe until only about 50, 60 years ago when they said, no, Galileo was right. If Galileo was right, we cannot have two rights. There's only one version of truth. Galileo's version is the truth. The Bible is wrong. The Bible is false. What the Bible tells us is false. But now we have developed more powerful telescopes. That's a modern telescope. Still a single tube. But we can see more than what Galileo used to see. Now we have telescopes that we have positioned in the sky. We are positioned in the sky that enable us to see a whole lot more. Well, this is a terrestrial telescope, but it's very big. And you can see, I don't know how many times more.
Everywhere.
But everywhere. A lot of stuff in the sky. This came out in about 1980 when they put this one out there, out in the sky with the opening. And it's taking pictures deeper into space. We are seeing billions of stars and galaxies, not just within our Milky Way galaxy, but outside of our Milky Way galaxy. This came out and is now outdated. There's a newer one called the James Webb Telescope. Now, this one is able to see what our eye,
see beyond the normal.
Normal, but it sees deeper. But it's only what we see in the normal frame of vision. The next one we're going to see, the James Webb. It's able to see images of things that we are not able to see with our naked eye. They call it infrared telescope. No, ultraviolet telescope. Light travels in a wavelength. The slower it is, the more difficult it is to see. This telescope is able to see. That telescope is able to see much, much farther than what this can see in the ultraviolet range of light. This went up there only in December 2021, only recently, and it's giving us some fantastic views. Because of these telescopes based in space, this one is about 2 million miles from space, and it's taking pictures. We're able to determine the size of the universe. The size of the universe is 94 billion light years. And we are about this, if we are in the center, it means we're about 45 billion light years. And a light year is the distance that light travels in a year. Light travels at the speed of 186,000 miles per second. When the second takes 1, the light has traveled, light that was shown from here has traveled 186,000 miles. So if you want to determine how far the object is in a light year, multiply it by 60 seconds, 60 minutes, 24 hours, and what?
You can't mention the figure.
You can't. It's huge. The size of the universe, and then multiply it by 95 million. Million. The universe is huge. So when the Bible says our universe is only the sun, moon, and stars and that we see, you have to discount it as false. Nobody can challenge that.
You are watching the biggest, and these things, talking about it becomes a little bit difficult. And when you even say that you as a human being, the spirit in you can travel faster and go more than this your body can, it's difficult to explain this to especially our people. So you continue from here, and when you land, I can ask my questions.
Okay. Here's a galaxy. That galaxy has all the little dots that you see are stars.
The light.
The light you see. And so they are close together, and so we see the light bright. But they are very, very, very far stars that are grouped together. And the size from one end to the other is very, very big. It's very big. We cannot depend on the Bible. The Bible is false. Okay, this is our galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy. Mm-hmm. You see where the dot is? That is where our sun is. Mm-hmm. To cross from there to there is impossible. To one side, to the end,
to the central black
hole. Center black hole, it's impossible. And you cannot get there because you will be absorbed. It will pull you down and you disintegrate. We can't. But this is where we are. This is where we are in a huge universe fighting among ourselves. Whose God is bigger? And who is more powerful? Somebody is dark, and so they are not worth living. We have to kill them. This is what is happening. So we need education to help us to understand. Of course, these are the planets around our sun, this one sun. The Bible says there's only one planet, Earth, the sun, and
moon.
And the moon. The moon is not even shown on here. But now today we know we have a whole lot more than that. We cannot depend on the Bible. Okay, this is Mars, one of the planets that Galileo was able to see with this little telescope. Mm-hmm. But then religion fought him, and he had to recant. You had a question before we move on.
What I want to ask right now is that from my little understanding and everything you are saying, it means it is a calculated program just to limit mankind, not to look anywhere. According to you, it is something that is hindering us as black people because they've programmed us to understand that this is where we are and that is all. There is nothing else. Absolutely. But they are not forcing any African not to look further. They said they are my papa ne rekante say we are yebeku. That thing is no more here. That thing is no more here. And I know that talking about these things, me myself, I know what I've gone through talking about certain things. I know it's a bit difficult, but now there are people who will give you audience. So why are we still sitting in this, believing that we have only sun, the moon, and the stars? And they see these stars talking to them, and they see this God talking to them. From which star and from which sun or from which moon is this God talking from?
You see, the problem has been, it's taken a long time for us to get here. When the white man came, of course, he established his primary school systems, and we went through it, and they taught us what they want us to know. And this is what we have carried on, and then we get married and we pass it on to our children, and so on and so on. Our educational system has not changed. We're still teaching the same stuff they taught us from when they got here. So yes, now we have to embrace education. Our school system, our curriculum, and all that has to change. There are books that African people have written, African authors, but these books are not allowed to go into the classroom. We are still using the European books.
Do we own ourselves? Do we own ourselves? Yeah. Or we are just squatters on this land? I know it's a serious question. Yeah.
As African people, we should own the land because we owned it before they came. But now they've owned the land and they've owned us.
So what can we do?
We have to break through. The only way to break through is to break down what they have taught us, as I am doing. Deconstruct it and see that what they taught us is foolishness. And if we continue to hold on to it, we will die stupid people, idiots. Because they themselves recognize that they've done us a lot of harm. As a matter of fact, madam, when I wrote my first book, We Are All Africans, exposing the negative influence of the Judeo-Christian Islamic religions on Africans, a Jewish professor wrote to him to take a look at it because I go in deep into the Judaism and what Judaism has done to mankind. For him to look at it. He looked at it and he says, Kwadwo, I understand where you are going. You want to free your people from the mindset of Judaism, and I'll support you. As a matter of fact, his commentary on the book says, if I may read.
Read, go ahead.
Anyone who wants to think seriously about their religion should read this powerful and passionate critique of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Mr. Obeng challenges believers to confront some troubling but significant facts and truths about their faith. While I do not agree with everything that Mr. Obeng has said, I found his book to be engaging and provocative. Phil Zuckerman, PhD, author of Society Without God. This is a Jew who was born a Jew. He went to the Jewish, for lack of a better word, church, the synagogue. And he knew Judaism. He studied Judaism. But he told me, we are sorry that the white people used our religion to push it down on you people, enslave you, and keep you the way things are now. So a lot of people recognize the harm that has been done to us. But as we keep bringing it up, what are we doing? Still holding on and keeping the damage going from generation to generation.
Because for what you just said, somebody would have to read to the in-depth knowledge of it to understand. But now, there are small things that you can actually sit and at least think about, and you know this is not making sense. There are so many things you can think about. You don't even need to read a lot. You can even look at the war going on that Israel God is not doing anything and think deep. That's why I ask you, do you see hope for us?
There is hope. There is an awakening. There is an awakening going on, especially, I came from the United States only 2 years ago. I lived there for 50 years. And when I wrote this book, people were amazed that somebody from the continent can write a book like this against religion, because they see the deep effect of this religion has had on us. And by the way, my father was a Jehovah's Witness. I think I mentioned it before in my introduction. I was born a Jehovah's Witness. I was an elder. I was so fully involved in it. I went to Saudi Arabia, and I was smuggling Bibles and Bible literature to Saudi Arabia. If they catch you bringing Bible into Saudi Arabia, they will arrest you. Those days. And it's still there now. They haven't withdrawn those lawyers.
It's not like before.
Not like before. But 10 years ago.
Now they mount Christmas trees and all that. Before it was
with the
taboo.
With the new prince. The new king. Yes, I went there before when his father was king. They will arrest you and put you in prison. But I risked my life.
Out of love.
Out of love for
God.
For God. And that's how deep I was in it. So when I came back and my eyes opened a little bit, and I started questioning myself, who am I? And why am I so deeply involved in this movement, trying to pray for Jesus to come and rule Africa, when Africans were on the continent before? Why didn't this God give the Bible to the Africans who were here? I will go into that a little bit later. Before these Jews came, only what? 4,000 years ago. What did he have against black people? That means this God was racist.
Did he really created them?
Did he really
to
create?
leave them like that?
That is the question. We'll get there. We'll get there. So why am I worrying myself day and night as a Jehovah's Witness, knocking on people's doors, bringing them Jehovah's kingdom? No.
And if they don't listen to you, propro your atadium on their heads.
And curse them. No. And that's when I started getting into deep into this thing. And I decided, and by the way, I've read the Bible. I'm not just speaking. I've read the Bible cover to cover at least 15 times. So I know what's in the Bible. And when I started really not just reading, but questioning it, everything, and that's when I started with the story of Genesis. The very first sentence, it started not making sense to me. And I went deeper and deeper. And I talked to a friend of mine and he says, Kwadwo, what you're saying makes sense. Why don't you write a book? I'd never thought about writing a book. So I pulled my computer and one day at a time, one night at a time, I came up with it. I believe
when you started writing, you started breaking down. You started breaking down every day, because when you start writing, that's when you get deeper understanding of this. And you were like, so where was I looking at? Yeah. Oh my God.
You get more questions. And then when the questions come up, you know the answers they will give as Christians. And then you think about it, no, that's not right. That cannot be. And then you dig deeper.
Are we really, really going to get out of this one day? It's so serious.
It's going to take time. And it's going to take this kind of work you are doing. And I applaud you. I listened to it. My wife introduced me to you when I came. And I've been listening to you. You are doing very good work. But we cannot give up.
We can't too. That one day we can't.
We can't give up. So we have to keep going.
You are watching the biggest and the largest. Ni NTO. And obi entan obia. Obia entan obia. But adie baby ekwe. Anyway, we keep learning.
Okay. So let me jump on to the story of Adam. The Bible says on day 6, he created a man called Adam. And Adam is the very first human being who walked this planet. Is that really true? And then every one of us is a descendant of Adam. This map shows us where they say the Garden of Eden is. Okay. Look, the top up there is Eden. I believe down there somewhere they also say Eden. Okay, at the right corner, you see Eden too. How can they be the same place at two different places? Because the story they tell us, the location they give us in the Bible, it's impossible. They mention 4 rivers that flow from the middle of the garden. Pishon, Gihon or Gihon, Euphrates, and then Hiddekel. If you go to the King James Bible, it says Hiddekel. The newer versions of the Bible, they have replaced Hiddekel with Tigris or Tigris, depending on how you say it. Now, when you look at this map, you see the river Euphrates to the left, and on the other side is Tigris, which, according to the Bible, should be really Hiddekel. But it also mentions that those rivers sprang from the middle of the garden. When you trace it back to the source of the rivers really are not in Iraq, but in, here you see, it tells us Mount Ararat. Here is the source of Euphrates. And here is the source of Tigris. They do not spring from the same location.
So not even from the middle of the garden.
Not in the middle of the garden. And if you're going to create a garden, will you make it on a flat ground or on the side of a hill? Here's Mount Ararat. And this is where the rivers start from. How do you expect an elephant to walk on the side of a mountain or a hill? It's not possible. And now they don't know where to place Eden, so they place it here to look like it's coming from the middle or from the rivers. And then not being sure.
The one at the lower part too, because the rivers are not close.
No, they are not.
And that is what has turned African map upside down. And they are not doing anything about it either.
We have to do something about it.
Yeah, Mobo.
So when I say the story of the Bible is false, absolutely ridiculous and deceptive, this is one reason. So we are talking about Adam. Could he have lived in over here? And then think about it. Can one man be able to take care of a garden that starts from the top of the mountain all the way to the sea?
With God, all things are possible, Papa.
With
God, all things are possible. He can, through Christ Jesus who strengthens him.
Without a basic cutlass.
Yes, because God was with him.
He's going to uproot all these
God was with him. The power of God was doing all sorts of things for him.
This is what we call menticide, mental genocide. This is what they have done to affect our brains. So everything we do, we go to the Bible. Every saying, oh, the Bible said this, Matthew, this and that. Okay. Now, so the Garden of Eden itself, the positioning of the Garden of Eden cannot be verified. It never existed. But then he said he created plants on day 3. There are over 300,000 species of plants, or maybe 390,000 species of plants on Earth. Imagine the whole globe. Wherever you go, you find plants. On day 3, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., he had created all these varieties of plants all over the globe. That is impossible.
You are talking from the carnal mind.
I am speaking
because you don't have the Spirit of God in you.
I reject that assertion. Because today we live in a world of science. Everything around us is science. Science is what is helping us to make advancement. When we keep thinking, oh, all things are possible with God, that's why we've been waiting for God to do things for us. And that's why we are behind. Religion is doing this to us, and this is what they want. So we can depend on them. Everything they manufacture, we just buy, and we never advance. So if we put that thought, that belief system aside, yes, we can make a lot of progress. We can make a lot of progress. Okay, so let's go to the next one. This is just about the plants. It's impossible for any God to design every particular species so uniquely that they can reproduce.
So to you, at this point, to you, where did all these plants came from?
That I can say honestly, and this is what is lacking with these religious people. I do not know. I wasn't there when they were being done.
Can there be anything can there be anything you see with your eyes that somebody didn't create it? Can there be anything like that?
Well, I don't know. But nobody can tell me that they know who did it. That their God created it. Then the burden of proof is on you. I tell you I don't know. So I can prove to you how, for example, 35,000 distinct species of fish. You have different types of fish, from the whale to the
tuna to
keta boys. All different, and they reproduce according to the way they are. I don't know who made it. But it did not take 6 or 12 hours to make all these ones so distinct. My object is to discount the story of the Bible. The rest is for science, for us to study and research and find out how things came to be. And up till
now, from everything you are saying, science is not being able to tell how these things came to be.
Yes,
that is why we will keep looking for God.
Well, how do you look for God? Where is this God? Where is this God?
But where is the one who created it? The same way you don't know. The same way we also don't know.
No, but Christians don't say we don't know. The Christians say, my God did it. How do you know? Where were you?
Apart from what is written and what you've been told, how did you know?
How do you know? And they're always going to go to the Bible. No, And so I'm trying to disprove the Bible. The Bible is not correct, or the Bible is deceptive. So it is up to us, but you have to also know that the advancement of science has only been during the past, 200 years? When we have powerful tools like computers. Telescope just came up. Well, telescope was 1600 years. That's about 400 or 500 years ago. And now we can see a whole lot. But the research that is going on in academia, industry, is very vibrant. We will know a little bit at a time, but it may not happen in our lifetime. We have to accept this. But
so you are saying a time will come that we will know who created or how all these things came to be.
It's possible how things came to be.
Okay. So at this point, are you saying that the Bible, you are saying is false, I understand, and all these other books? You mentioned 3 religions, so I will base on that. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Okay. So you are saying the Bible is a deception.
Yes.
Quran is what?
It is deception, and I'll tell you why before you go on. 65% of the material in the Quran was taken from the Bible. And then the rest 35 is all about Muhammad's escapades and how he went and raided villages and stole their stuff, for he and his men, all of that. It's all about Muhammad, praising Muhammad. 65% was taken directly from the Bible. It has the story of Adam.
Moses, everything is there.
Everything is there.
Mary,
all the way to Jesus and Mary.
Yes. It's there.
So the New Testament is in the Old Testament is in the Quran. The New Testament is in the Quran.
Apparently it's the same book.
It's the same book.
But what about Judaism?
Judaism, the foundation.
They use Torah and the rest.
Yeah, the Torah is the law. That's the 10 Commandments and a few other books they call the Torah. And then the prophets and all that.
So it's the same thing.
Yes.
So I asked this question, looking at all these books that you are debunking right now. Are you saying there is nothing good in it? We can't find anything good in it at all? And that it has not done anything good to us at all as Black people? Can you claim this?
Can I claim this?
Yeah.
As someone who has read this book, the Bible, 15 times, and it has done damage to me personally and to my father. No, I will not say there's anything good in the Bible. Because whatever they point to as good in the Bible, our ancestors had it. The 10 Commandments, when you look at the committed laws of the 42 negative confessions, all that is in there from ancient Egypt. They took that and summarized it into the 10 Commandments in the Bible. So the good stuff came from somewhere and got into the Bible. As a matter of fact, the Bible was written in Persia when the Jews were slaves. That's when they took the religion of the Persian religion, Zoroastrianism. They took some of that and some from other stuff, and they wrote the Bible. And then they dumped it to us, and they fraudulently claimed they got it from God. No, it's not true. Because we know some of the stuff that's in there, how they got in there. For example, the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, or Daniel in the lion's den. They all happened in Persia. The 10th Commandment itself was from Hammurabi Code. So nothing there is original. They stole all that. But they used it to hurt us. They used this to kill us. I'll get into a little bit of that. The number of people who have been killed by Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, African people, it's amazing. So we cannot run into it and say, okay, there's a little gem in here, and so we're going to do whatever gem is in there that is worthy of admitting or accepting was already in our traditions of our forefathers. And you can trace our history throughout the Nile Valley, Egypt or Kemet.
Euphrates, River, and the rest.
All of that. You can trace all that. So there's nothing, as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing good about it. And as I said before, What is in the Quran came from here. So you cannot have something good or something great coming from something dirty.
Everybody took our history and started distorting it to fit his or her own parochial interests, and we are pampering this. I don't agree with you though. I'm just saying my mind. The next image, we want to see it on the screen, please. So at this point, I believe if something can happen for us to know where all these things came from, I believe it will do us a lot of good, and all this brouhaha will stop. Because when you talk, even those who are awakening crap who believe there's a supreme being be somewhere who is creating all these things, and that supreme being thing is what is creating a problem, because there is a God who created this. Sometimes you talk to people, talk, they know you are making sense, but they will still come back to tell you that it is God. That I was teaching spiritual mechanics, and then telling them that how the heart in us is automated to pump blood, and how we are supposed to breathe and all that. So if you don't eat well and you are not able to breathe properly, you will die. This is mechanics. When I was teaching this, somebody came back to say that it is God that gave you that heart. That so if we can actually know where all these things came about, I think it will do us a lot of good. But you continue. I know one day we will get there.
So far, we've established that the story in creation, I didn't go through all the days, but the very fact that you cannot create all these billions and billions of galaxies in 12 hours disproves the Bible. And then we went on to we had some birds species. It's impossible to create all these species individually, uniquely in 12 hours. And then we came to Adam. We cannot find where the Garden of Eden is. It was impossible to exist. If it's impossible to exist, then Adam himself, his existence is very, very questionable.
And please add that you couldn't tell us where all those things came from.
No.
Then you continue.
Okay, I do not know where they came from, and I admit to people, I don't. For me to pretend to know it is preposterous, because I'm only 76 years old.
It's not only. You've done well. You've beaten the Bible. The Bible gave them 72,
years,
so
okay.
You've even made it a lie with your age.
Thank you.
It makes sense. You continue.
Thank you.
You are watching the biggest. That is sarcasm anyway.
Thank you. So the very fact we are questioning the existence of Adam just tells us that he was not the first person on the planet. But now I'm showing this to let our audience know that the very first people who, according to science, or the people who have lived the longest on this planet, by the way, they say Adam was created only 6,000 years ago. So if his descendants were here, they would have lived only 6,000 years ago. But these people, the Twa people in southern Africa, the Twa people and there are a few other tribes.
The Hogons, the Dogons. Mm-hmm.
They have lived on this planet. These people, by tracing their DNA, it has been shown that they've lived here at least 60,000 years. And they are still here. So when the Bible says Adam was the first person, you have to completely put that aside and say that it's fiction. As a matter of fact, African people have been discovered to have lived on this planet as human beings, as we see them, at least 200,000 years. They do that by tracing, okay, let me go here. By tracing certain things in our body. Well, the first one is the mitochondrial DNA. We use mitochondrial DNA to trace the lineage of women, whose mother gave birth to who, and whose mother gave birth to the mother, all the way back. That DNA, mitochondrial DNA of all humans, have been traced back to Africa, as that woman having lived about 80,000 years ago. The next one is Y chromosome. We use Y chromosome to determine who is the father of a child. If the father of the child is questionable.
Scientifically.
Scientifically, we use that. All right. That has also been traced back to Africa.
Oh, they themselves have confirmed.
They
Chinese,
confirmed. Yes.
Chinese
They know.
scientists they've confirmed this. So that one, I don't think they have any issue with that. Just the age that they are saying the world is 2,000 years. I personally have a meteorite in my office that is 1.5 million years with certificate.
Okay.
So that one that we've been here, so they traced it when the Russia war started. They said they've seen Jesus in their archives and he's black. So blacks being the first race on earth, nobody is disputing that fact. But where the problem is when they are saying Adam is 2,000 years, and that's where this whole mess issues is what is eating us up.
I'm showing 5 witnesses that prove, that testify to the fact that Africans were the first people. When we do that, we discount the Bible. And I suggest everybody throw away their Bible in the trash can. Don't ever read it. It's a book of lies. It's a book that promotes mental sickness. The other next, number 3, chromosome. Okay, we've gone through the chromosome issue. On the chromosome issue, the Bible says that God created Adam, took a rib from his side, and created a woman. Well, according to science, there are about 37 billion cells in a man's body. A woman has 28 billion. No, I'm sorry. Trillion.
Because women have more.
Women, well, they say men have 36 trillion cells and women have 28 trillion. The last research I did. It could be the other way around. But trillions of cells. Every cell in a man's body has a Y and X chromosome. Every woman has 2 X's. If God created a man with 37 trillion chromosomes, X and Y chromosomes, and he took a rib, that rib also contains X and Y chromosomes. So if you use it to create a woman, that woman will have X and a Y chromosome. That woman will not be a woman. You have another man. So the Bible claiming that you created a woman.
This is massive.
No, God created 2 men. So when we are here in Ghana and you got our people who are supposed to be in parliament using their brains, and they go and sit there and they make laws against gays and lesbians.
It started from the Bible.
It started from the Bible.
Hey,
and this is
who
where
asked me?
This is where they went to get justification for the law they passed in Parliament against gays and lesbians.
Papa, there's a lot to that thing. I have said on this platform that me particularly, I don't want to talk about that thing. Why? Because they will tell you that in the Garden of Eden, there was only Adam and Eve. And they will also tell you that 2 children that Eve bore, one was for Satan and one was for Adam. And then they will come back and tell you that Jesus was born only from a woman. What is this promoting?
Well, for me, as someone who believes in science, bring your proof. Go out there and find Adam's bones, and we'll do the test. I will take you to UCLA. I went to school there. I will take it there and get the scientists to test the chromosomes in Adam's bones. And if you can find Eve, we'll do the same and see what type of chromosomes and the mitochondrial DNA chromosomes are in their bones. They can't, because these people never existed.
Oh my God.
That is the truth. They can never find where Adam's bones are. He never existed. So our parliamentarians, if you are listening, get some brains. Read the Bible. Read the Bible and look into science. We live in a world of science today. And
you are watching the biggest. You didn't hear any of that. It's just an advice. So now we know the mitochondria, and then we know the The white and
Yes, yes, the DNA and all of
DNA
that.
thing, and
the
then-
next one is melanin, the color of our skin. Melanin helps Africans, black people, to avoid skin cancer. And I will, if you don't mind, I'll read this.
Go ahead.
This is from a scientist by the name, I forgot the name, but this is what she said in a book. Dark skin protects against skin cancer. Mutations in cells induced by ultraviolet light. Light-skinned persons have about a tenfold greater risk of dying from skin cancer under equal sun conditions. Furthermore, dark skin prevents UVA ultraviolet light radiation from destroying the essential B vitamin folate. Folate is needed for synthesis of DNA in dividing cells, and too low levels of folate in pregnant women are associated with birth defects. There's a benefit while we have the dark skin. Science research has shown that the people who left Africa and eventually became white originally had dark skin. So dark skin, the melanin has been traced all the way to Africa as the oldest people. The oldest people on the planet, they have the darkest skin because we lived along the equator right here in Africa. That is melanin. Unfortunately, that is what has been used against us. The curse of Ham, they say it was a result of...
I've had a pastor here on this same platform who said that when they cursed us, we turn into black and rush into the forest.
This is what they see. This is what they said in the Bible. The Bible says we're cursed. And you know, Muhammad of the Quran said something. And I would like to quote that. Cam even derided him and became on this account the father of all black races of mankind. Here's a quotation from Al-Tabā, the great Muslim historian, who is cited often by Islamic prophets and their traditions, and it's in the Hadith. He said, Ham begat all those who are black and curly-haired, while Japheth begat all those who are full-faced with small eyes, meaning the Asians, the Chinese. And Shem begat everyone who is handsome of face and beautiful hair. Noah prayed that the hair of Ham's descendants will not grow beyond their ears, just like mine. And wherever his descendants met children of Shem, the latter would enslave them. That means Shem's descendants will enslave the children of yes. Here's another one. On his part, Ibn Qutayba, about 828 to 829 AD, wrote that Ham, son of Noah, was light-skinned and handsome. The God Most High changed his complexion and that of his progeny, black, because of the curse of Ham. The worst part of it is they have used this thing to justify the mistreatment of African people.
But the point is, you've been placed there automatically and openly that you are cursed. Why are you protecting something that projects you as a cursed being? I don't understand though.
Because of menticide.
Something that has projected me as a cursed being, even my color. What am I doing there?
For some reason, we enjoy the mistreatment. And that is why we still resist information like this. We fight. We prefer to be slaves of Arabs, Jews, and white people. We are comfortable with that.
And even if you don't put all this into consideration, looking at the greatest event that has ever hit the world is the slave trade in Africa. And these Arabians started it, yes. And then these people continued. From the origin of all this religion, none of them was good to us.
As a matter of fact, what you are saying, I substantiate that with this book.
Why are your books so big?
Because they cover a lot of material. You see, the slavery you just mentioned did not start with the transatlantic slave trade. It started when the Israelites went to Canaan to kill them and take their land. The Canaanites were black people. The Bible doesn't say that.
It says that
yeah.
at a point in time,
Yes,
that
we have
when
to.
Jesus said
Yeah.
the Canaanite woman is a dog.
Thank you. Thank you. I have that in here. So it shows that black people were in Canaan and all of those areas, and they enslaved them. That's when African slavery started. And then it continued with the Arabs from 700 AD all the way till now. And I'm sure there's slavery going on in Mauritania.
I sometimes draw their attention to this, that, okay, if they tell you that the Israelites and the Egyptians were fighting, all these people are black. So was it a tribal war? There was a war that is being covered and used that thing as, but these things, it's looking like no matter what you open up to, it's like we don't care.
But we have to care. Along the line, we have to care. For me, I take my inspiration from the one and only Osajifo. When he started this war to get rid of these white people, he was alone. These people that we have them on our currency, they were only interested in just little Ghana. Kwame Nkrumah's vision was worldwide,
Africa, the whole Africa,
black person, even in the United States and the islands. So he met a lot of discouragement. I mean, all the attempts at trying to kill him and all that.
It's not easy.
It didn't faze him, but he kept on until eventually they were able to catch up with him.
You were going to say something about this?
Yes, the indictment of the Judeo-Christian Islamic religions. They used the war, I mean, the story of Ham, the slavery of Africans, I'm sure. Initially, we said from the Canaanites, and then the Arabs jumped on it from 700 to, well, 1400, over 1400 years. They have kidnapped, enslaved Africans to the Arabian countries. But even before that, there was the European slave trade. They captured Africans and sold them to Spain and Portugal, who also passed them on to the rest of Europe.
We're even registering insurance for those who even die on the way.
Yes. We don't cover that. We don't teach that. And then later on, there is transatlantic slave trade. And then there was the East African slave trade. That also carried a lot of Africans away. We have lost about 300 million Africans to this slavery business. And yet, well, what they did was take us away and put their stuff in our head, and that's what we're holding on. All of North Africa. Even if not the Arabs, the black people living in North Africa, even northern Ghana, they all hold on to Islam. But Islam was a culprit in enslaving and killing African people. So the book covers what they've done to us and the damage, spiritual, cultural, economic, and human genocide is what they have done. And it's going to take us some time to recover because we have lost our history. They don't teach our history anymore. We allow them to take our resources out without fighting back. Now President Mahama is trying to do something about it. We wish him well. But all of Africa, this is happening to us. And this religion has become so entrenched that we are not able to think through and think straight about what it is doing to us. So the next thing that we cover is evidence number 6. It's very powerful. Throughout Africa, of course, other parts of the world, we have those who have lived in caves. They leave their markings. They leave their history, writing and drawing animals and what have you.
Sigils and symbols.
Yes. In Africa, South Africa, you have a Bombos cave. That writing of the ochre ink that was used was dated to be 73 to 77,000 years. And you want to tell me the Bible says Adam was created only 6,000 years ago? No. Our ancestors were in that cave. Another cave in Namibia, Apollo Cave, 27,000 years, been dated to 27,000 years. Algeria, in northern Africa, there have been 15,000 paintings and engravings, all dated to 20,000 or so years. The San rock art, the San people is what we're showing here. They also have rock arts in, in some of the caves. Malawi has some in the Chogoni cave. Egypt has drawings that show people about 10,000 years ago. And you know what? If our audience, they don't believe anything at all,
They can even use your phone.
go to Ghana, come to Ghana, the northeast area, there's a town or area called Kabanga and Kigana. There are writings on rock and also on caves that have been dated to be 12,000 years old. 12,000 years ago, there were people here, right here in Ghana. So you can't tell me that the Bible is true when the Bible says the first man was only 6,000 years ago. That's impossible. That is why we have to reject the Bible. The last piece of evidence that testifies that Africans are the oldest people on this planet is radiometric dating. Radiometric dating, the Christians love radiocarbon dating because that can only date anything rock. From
where the...
Yes, only up to 10,000 years. And so that's all they accept. But there are about 40 types of radiometric dating that can go back to hundreds of thousands of years. And so we have to accept science. All the scientific information that we have today proves that Africans are the oldest people. The exploitation we talk about, the damage that it has done to us, well, religion is a business. Religion is big business. And I'll tell you the damage it does to Africa. There are about 175 million Catholics in Africa. And every time they go to church, they are required to donate something to the church. If they donate only I use dollars in my book, but let's just say 5 cedis every Sunday. 175 times 5 cedis times 52 Sundays. You get $45 billion.
Even purchasing the Bible from China is giving them millions of dollars.
And some of that money goes to the Vatican. And they use that money when they go to the Vatican.
They are the originators of the Bible.
Yes. They use that money to pay for all the lawsuits they have accumulated by molesting boys and girls all over the place. Now, what about the Protestant churches? There are about 450 million Protestants. And this information I got from the Pew Research about 10 years ago in the book. 450 million times 5 cities every week, times 52. You are getting close to 120 billion cities every year that go from Africa. What about the Muslims? 45% of Africa's population is Islam. They're about 500 million. And if they do the same, the money they extract is over, I believe, 300 billion. A lot of the money that is collected on these church events is taken out of Africa. And this is money that we can use to develop, to build schools, the hospitals,
that is why they build these things, some of these things for us for free. Is it not the same thing you want?
The stuff they build for us for free, they use our free labor.
You are watching The Biggest. Papa, you have said a lot. Right now, give us your 5 structures for solutions.
Education, 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 education. We have to be willing to learn. Now is the time to unlearn the garbage we've been taught. It is complete garbage, and I'm not afraid to say that. Everything we've been taught by the church and the mosque is garbage, and the synagogue is garbage. There are no facts or pieces of evidence to support that. Nobody can bring us one piece of evidence to say Adam ever lived. So without evidence, we have to dismiss. We have to unlearn all of that. I learned it for 50 years until I came to my senses and rejected it. And I did my research. So education is the only thing that can help us. The will to let go the black inferiority complex that have been placed on us. We feel inferior to the white man and to the Arab. That's one of that's the key thing I can leave people. Research on your own. Don't listen to me or anybody else. If a question comes to your mind, go on the internet. You have a phone. Type any question in there and the information will come up. And try and understand it. If you don't understand it, then find another source where you can understand what you are saying.
Okay, then find another source from what you will understand what I am saying. I keep telling you this, that I'm not pushing anything under your throat. Just listen and do your own findings. Want to resonate with you, just think deep. Ade a wo hwehwe na wo ye na wo bisa na wo nya hwe. Enye me na mbeka tro say moa. So to my say blood pressure e drew 3 cds. We are still praying. In his stripes we are healed. We are not healed, we are sick rather. But these ones things you can't say much. Papa, in 1 minute, the last words you have to say to the public, from presidency to the truck pusher, and then the advice you have added, and if there are any social media handles, maybe people would want to, if the books are also in the market, let us know where to find them. People want to learn. These are things that I think we have to learn. So if there is anywhere you think we can get the books, let us know. Also, if there are any questions people want to ask you, how do they get access to you for more education? So please go ahead and give it to them.
From the president, Mr. President, you have been given power again to run this country. You and your assistants. We need a lot of money for all the projects. I applaud you for all the projects you have initiated. Basically, you're trying to complete what Kwame Nkrumah started, but you need a lot of money. One of the sources where you can get money, and I want you to be brave, is the church. The churches take a lot of money out of Ghana abroad to build businesses and also for pleasure. And when the money goes abroad, they are put in European and American banks, where American businesses can use that money
and a lot
to
of
generate
them too
money.
are seized.
Yes.
I've seen a few.
It goes to what you call Saudi Arabia from the Muslims, and they use it to build businesses in Saudi, their country. Can Ghana afford to do this? And what irks me, Mr. President, is that Ghana supports Muslims to go to Mecca on their Hajj or pilgrims. Let's separate business from religion, or separate religion from government. Government has no business getting into religion. The next thing is we need to start taxing the churches.
Oh, you are?
We need to start taxing them. We can get a lot of money for the young people to build businesses, industries, and all of that. You should not be afraid. And let's not formulate any laws based on the Bible. We are a secular country, and we should continue being a secular country. Let's keep religion out. For you, the audience, the only thing I can tell you is keep researching. I am sorry to say that right now, the books are not in circulation. I have a website. Right now, the website has been compromised. And I have all the chapters. I've put all the chapters on the website. But right now, the website is compromised. So you cannot download any chapter right now. But give me a lot of time. I will bring it up and I will let you interested persons know so you can go there and download any chapter you want to read. You can get a hold of me right now. I just moved back to Ghana and I only have my email address. So I'll give you my email address and you can write to me and I'll respond. KD Obeng, OBENG @hotmail.com. kdobeng@hotmail.com. At this point, I would not like to share my phone number because I know I'll be getting a lot of phone calls from people who do not want information to go out to the audience. So I thank you very much, Madam, for inviting me to your show. I've enjoyed the discussion, and I will say keep on the good work.
Okay. All right, the biggest. Papa, thank you so much for coming. I do appreciate. Please make sure the website is there. People are now reading. So make sure the website is available for us so we can have access. We want to know more. I can see Americans 202 trillion slavery debt, all written in your name. Please, we would want to know and read more because we don't normally document things like this. So it's also a hindrance as well. So please make sure the website is there for us to read and make some of them audio so those who cannot also read can also listen to you. These are things that can actually help us. Thank you so much. Ebusia, I mean, a lot of videos about President Mahame's speech. State March, you know. Nankrofobisa say or shawo to say you could see way and you the youth that went to the voter lake, please go with life jackets. I don't want to lose anybody. Yes, I want you to experience all Nkrumah did, but I don't want to lose a soul. So please, if you are going, make sure you go with life jacket and with professionals who will protect you. I thank you so much, Papa, for coming. I do appreciate. I think I'll call you again. There is something I want to discuss about the damages, the in total damages Judaism has caused, because looking at Judaism and what our people are now saying that it is nananom and killing of goats and sheep and all that, I would want you to break it down in your own knowledge. You know, me pese minya ebi free ho. So I feel I will call you again when you have time. Then you come and let's talk about African spirituality. What was here? Were we worshiping anything or we were just reverencing them and respecting them? And how we through all these things. We have personally done mechanics, spiritual mechanics, how our ancestors were using mechanics, how they were eating for their health and how they took away medications and all that. So I think I will call you once again so you come and let's delve into that part of our lives. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. Or the email so at all bisa questions. These are people you have to learn from. If you don't know your history, who baby I walk on who baby he said something that I'm going to hold. My boss room they were bomb my or saying Nkrumah started alone. And I would do baby. It's not easy. I will keep trying. Papa, more grief to your elbow. Nyankopon ma wa hoden foforo. Nyankopon kro de wo na onim. I had am do besi abusia. Makramo.